Hello everyone, Carlos Flores, back on basics. So, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so you can get notified of any new videos that come on board. If you have any topics, suggestions, feedback, comments, likes, put them in the comment section and I'll be happy to respond to you. My apologies. Sometimes, you know what? It's amazing. Sometimes my brain is running at 1,000 miles an hour and it's super focused and it's like, ugh. And so thanks to those who have commented that sometimes I seem to stutter, at times, but you know what? It's because my mind is running like this. I mean, if I could do it a little bit faster, it would be faster, but my mouth does not sometimes connect to what's happening in my brain, to the processes that happen in my brain. But it's amazing, right? I mean, that's why I love cognitive psychology, because if you think it, you do it. If you do it, you think it. Sometimes I'm thinking it, and in my mind, it's like 3 steps ahead, but my body's like 1 or 2 steps behind. Hey, that's kind of like a song from Def Leppard, 2 steps behind. Love it. See what I mean? Random facts, right? It's like boom, 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 right? And so today I'm going to talk to you about getting to know yourself. And I know that I've said that before, and I've given you different examples on how to do it. But getting to know yourself means getting to know your highs and getting to know your lows. Why do you need to do that? It's because those are the extremes, ladies and gentlemen. You see that? Those are your extremes. This is in between these two, right? The highs and the lows. It's where a lot of people tend to not be in at times. Why? Because a lot of times they want to be high up and enjoy life and like elated. Those people just sometimes run out of energy, or sometimes it's a life that you have to keep up. You got to do that. I mean, more power to these people that are out there representing themselves, representing whatever brand they're representing, out there making videos like late in the night or early in the morning or during the day. I mean, eventually that's what I want to do. I want to make videos all day and just pack them all in and send them so that way you can see different aspects of our mind. Today, for example, I'm going to give you an example, right? And I made 2 videos, one Spanish, one English, right? On this topic, on being uncomfortable by learning about yourself. And I'm going to go into the uncomfortable piece in a little bit. I've also made 1 micro short on Instagram on that topic. 30 seconds is not a lot of time. And then I made 2 videos, 2 shorts, one on Instagram and one here on YouTube, just showing off the catio that we built years ago. I mean, the cats love the catio. It's a sunny day today, and it's not really hot. So one cat is out there basking in the sun, and that's what I love. I mean, opportunities, making sure that we're reaching our potential, but at the same time, not overtasking ourselves with things that realistically are not going to be done. And so, again, remember what I said about the things that are not going to be done, or the things are too big? Divide them into smaller sections and have a beginning and an end, and because that way your brain doesn't have to focus on keeping all of that data for all the entire trajectory of what you're doing, the entire information or what you're thinking. I mean, honestly, that's the reason why we're awake late at night, thinking of what's going to happen tomorrow, or what's going to happen at work, or what's going to happen at school, right? It's because your brain is trying to keep up with your worries, and it's trying to keep up with your wishes, or trying to keep up with the things in your to-do list that is not written down, but it's in here. So again, break it into chunks, so that way you will have breaks in between. You'll celebrate, you'll move on. So then it becomes smaller and smaller and smaller, and then you reach your goal. Instead of making it just one huge trajectory, so that way you can get to your goals. You'll get to your goals faster if you break it up in chunks, and your mind won't be as tasked as it does. Believe me, your mind gets tasked. Sometimes when you can't sleep, sometimes when you can't really focus on work or school or homework or class, it's because of that. It's because your brain is processing so many different things that is tasking. It is tasking. It doesn't mean that it can't do it. It just means that you may get some different memories that are not very focused, and you may have to hash it out a little bit more. So that's what I mean. If you have a to-do list, write it down, put it on your phone. Every time I'm going to do a topic, I actually write it down on my phone. Oh, look, those are my kids and my niece. That's when they were little. Now they're in their 20s. And so write it down. If I put it on my phone in my to-do list, I'm not going to think about it. My brain is not going to process it. Not until I bring it up again. And then it's like, oh, it's there. I mean, I know that it's going to be there. And so it's amazing, right? It's amazing. So get into uncomfortable places. And why am I saying this? Because getting into uncomfortable places, you can really get to know yourself. You really get to know what makes you tick, what makes you anxious, what makes you nervous, what makes you feel proud, right? What makes you who you are. And then it also shows you who you are even further. I mean, it's amazing because I know that you know yourself. But there are other things, other activities, other dreams, other past experiences that you really haven't processed. Remember, I showed you, right? This is my iceberg. Remember, the top of the iceberg here is 20%. 20% is up there, and you can see that's visible. But then below the iceberg is 80%. Those are the deep-rooted thoughts. Those are the deep-rooted fears. Those are the deep-rooted wants. Those are the deep-rooted issues. Those are the deep-rooted mental blocks. Those are the deep-rooted motivational focus, so that way you can move forward. There's a lot in there. There's good, bad, and ugly in there. Believe me. And you see only 20% of that. But the other 80% on that iceberg, I mean, sometimes it comes up, it bubbles up. And you're like, what the heck happened here? And sometimes it bubbles up and it's something positive or something motivational. And you're like, yeah, and you're feeling all right. So I'm telling you, I've studied the brain. I studied cognitive psychology. I've studied human behavior. And it's amazing that even though we think we know each other, we know us, we don't. Not 100%, because there are a lot of things that our brain records that we don't even think about. And that's what I want to tell you. That's how you get uncomfortable. You get uncomfortable by putting yourself in situations that will bring a little bit of anxiousness, a little bit of worry. I'm not saying get into a dangerous situation. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is put yourself out there, right? Do something a little bit different, so that way you can see how it feels. I mean, when I first started doing these videos, I was uncomfortable because I was concerned about what are people going to say, what are the comments going to be. I mean, once in a while I get comments about stuttering, that I stutter or that I look up. But you know what? It's because my mind is racing 1,000,000 miles an hour. And when it's super focused, oh my goodness. It's like a machine. It's like AI, but with limitations. AI doesn't have limitations because it could be endless. But it's just so super focused that my brain processes at 1,000 miles an hour. My mouth tells it to you or tells it to the person in front of me. less than 1,000 miles an hour. And so that's why sometimes it's like, it feels like my thoughts are get stuck, but it's like, it's because that's what it is. This supercomputer is faster sometimes than what comes out of your mouth, what the voice that comes out of your mouth, the things that come out of your mouth, because sometimes it's still processing. And so you have to get yourself in an uncomfortable situation, because if you do, your mind and body is more heightened. I mean, it's like fight or flight, right? Remember that psychology term that I told you in other videos? Fight or flight means that you're either staying there and you're sucking it up and fighting, which I not physical fighting, just to see how it is. But then flight means you're out of there because you don't want to be in that situation. And remember, it's up to you to decide what you want to do. All I'm doing is telling you my take on this topic. And getting to know yourself is very important, because there will be times where you will be tasked, your body will be tasked to an extreme, your mind will be tasked to an extreme, and you have to be ready for it. You know, when my dad passed away, and recently when a family member, a 6-year-old family member passed away, it has tasked my mind, it has tasked my body. I mean, it's to the point where I had to really put myself in an uncomfortable situation so that way I can learn about myself more. And you know what I found out? I'm resilient. I try to be resilient, and I try to fix things, which a lot of the times I don't have to do it. And that's one of the things that I'm learning to do, that I don't have to fix everything. That's something that I learned through this process, in between my dad's passing and our family member who was 6 years old passing. That's the span that I've learned that. I love to fix stuff. I love to support people, but I've learned I don't have to do it all the time, because that way I can let others do that, and then I can help. I'm not saying that I'm not going to help. It just means that I'm not going to take on the entire task. So again, put yourself in safe and uncomfortable situations, so that way you can get to know yourself. So that way you can get to know your boundaries. So that way you can get your emotional limits. So that way you can get to know how your brain processes versus your body. They're different sometimes, because this is a supercomputer, and this one, even though it's a two-way street, like I said, mind, body, balance, right? It's usually this one leading, your mind is leading the body. So you have to have healthy habits, you have to have healthy living, you have to do things so that way your body can at least keep up with your mind. So subscribe to my YouTube channel at Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so you can get notified of any new videos that come on board. Again, if you have any questions, any comments, any feedback, any suggestions, put them in the comments section. I've been answering all of your feedback, all of your comments, all of your questions. And I've been doing videos for those of you that have requested a certain topic. So, till next time, Back on Basics.